Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. This is a continuation in our series of making inexpensive gifts for the holidays or time-saving gifts for the holiday. And in this case, we're going to make our own perfumed body powder. It can be shimmering or not shimmery. I'm going to show you both options, and I'm going to give you some ways that you can save yourself some significant money. In this case, I'm going to be making this powder for myself, so it's not going to be something where I'm needing to go out and buy the perfume. I already have it, and one of my favorite scents is pink sugar. I love the smell of it. I love anything that smells like food, and this just smells like kind of sweet sugar. It's just very sugary. It's lovely. And so that's my scent. But let's say that you have a girlfriend that's really into another scent, and you can get hold of a tester in her scent. A lot of places, especially like Sephora and Ulta, carry a lot of samples. If you know your friend's scent of choice, you can, if you don't know it, you can always ask them. But if you do know it, you can go to these places and ask for one of these testers, and there should be enough product in there to accomplish what we need to do. But for today's purposes, I'm going to be showing you how to do it with just a basic jar for myself again. And I'm going to show you or give you some ideas about how you could make that cuter, or different ideas on how to make this a little bit more upscale for your friends. What you're going to want is either one of these little puffs, you know, that you get for cosmetic removal, or a cotton ball. Either one works pretty well. I've done this before. I've made a lot of this. Rich actually likes his cologne on powder because he just likes the scent, and he doesn't normally use powder, so you can't find men's powders usually, so I made it for him. Anyway, he likes it, and so I thought I would make myself some because I usually just use basic powder. And so what you're going to want to do is, wherever you're at to do this, you should open your window because you're going to be spraying a lot of cologne, and you want to make sure that you don't overpower the air you're in. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this about 25 times on this little piece. And then I'm going to flip it over onto my lid, whoops, so I don't get the scent everywhere else. And your cotton should be pretty well saturated with it. I mean, it's really, it's a lot of powder. And I'm going to, or not powder, cologne. I just want to hit a couple more spots because when I sprayed it the first time, it wasn't really spraying out full sprays. It was just kind of spraying out partial sprays. Okay, that time I really got a good spray. All right. If you're using the jar system, you just pop it in the bottom of the jar. I think if I were you, I would use the jar to begin with and then decant it into something pretty. You could find a pretty little box somewhere. You could put it into another jar that's a cute jar that's maybe sparkly, and go that way. I'm going to show you the extent of how pretty I'm going to make it for myself as soon as I fill it with the powder. All you're going to be using is cornstarch. You can use arrowroot. You can buy it. It's that Red Mill company makes arrowroot, but you can use that in place of cornstarch. I've always used the cornstarch just because that's what we use. Whatever container you use, don't fill it more than 2/3 the way full, because you're going to want to make sure that it has room for the powder to move around. Sorry, it's going to take me a little bit of time to do this because it doesn't want to come out very badly. And when it does, it wants to go everywhere. You are supposed to use 2 cups when you make this recipe, but I usually make a cup at a time. Whoops. Or around a cup at a time, because if you make it and then you decide you don't like it or you don't want to use it, 2 cups is quite a bit of powder. If you've ever used powder, 2 cups is quite a bit. Now I have a little excess here. Remember, I put that pad down in the bottom, so the pad's already out of our picture. You can't see it anymore. And then I'm going to clean off my little jar off camera so you can't see me. And then you're going to put a lid on it. Whoops. I'm not going to show you the decorator part first because there's a step you need to do before you make this cute. And that is you're going to shake it. And you're going to shake it a lot. And you're going to do this twice a day for 3 days. You're going to really, really shake it. It's the way you're going to disperse that powder and the perfume together so that the two of them become one, and you don't just have a section of powder that smells and the rest of it doesn't. You want the whole thing to really smell great. And that's the way you do it, is just by shaking it. And you want to shake it vigorously. Obviously, I'm not shaking it vigorously because I'm not a vigorous shaker. But you get the idea. You're going to do that twice a day for 3 days, then you can use it. Then you can decant it, basically. But don't decant it until then because of all the shaking. Whoops! All the shaking you're going to want to do. Let's say you don't want to decant it and you just want to leave it in this. Here's what I was going to do with it for myself. Let's say that my 3 days are up. Whoa. Just ignore all this crap behind me. All this powder. Okay, I'm clean now, so everything's good. So let's say that the 3 days have passed. I'm going to punch holes in the lid of my jar with a hammer and a nail. That's the first step. Then I have this really glittery, pretty pink material that I cut with pinking shears in almost a circle. And I'm going to put that over my little holes. And then it makes my jar kind of a, well, some of it got stuck underneath there. Let me yank it out and fix it a little bit. It just makes it look pretty, and it tells you basically what the scent is because it's pink sugar. And so that helps you with not only knowing what kind. Now you could make this longer if you wanted to. I kind of made it short just because I'm going to put it in my medicine cabinet and I didn't want a lot of material sticking out. But again, you're going to have little holes punched in there, so that would allow the powder to come through, and it should still work to come through this material. I don't know for sure, but I haven't tried that part. I just thought I'd experiment with my little system today. Then let's say you're a glittery powder girl or glimmery powder girl. I am not, but let's say I was. You know, if I was maybe 25, maybe I would be. But, you know, 56, I think I'm a little past the glimmer stage. Maybe I'm not. Maybe you can put it in the comments if you think, hey Sandy, if you're a Fruit Loop, you could also be glimmery. I don't know. Anyway, what you're going to want is mica. If you want to look golden, you would get gold mica. If you want white or the clear, you'd get white mica. Now, where I buy this is I go out to the Dollar Tree. Of course I go to the Dollar Tree. And you go to their beauty section and you look for LA Colors. And it is an eyeshadow. Unfortunately, I've decanted all of mine. It's an eyeshadow that comes in white or gold, pink. It comes in all kinds of color. You can choose whatever color you want, and then what you'll do is when you get home, take the bottom off of the bottle because that's where most of the product is, and then shake as much in. I would start out with a minimal amount, maybe let's say a teaspoon for your whole jar, and shake it around and see how glimmery it is, and then add more until you get to the glimmery consistency you want it. Some people like things more glimmery, some people like it less. So it really is up to you, how far you're going to go with that. But that will change it from just being invisible powder to something that you can see on your skin. So back to our project. What you're going to do, again, is shake it vigorously, and I'm not saying just as much as I've done. You're going to shake it for minutes, maybe let's say 3 minutes, and you're going to do that twice a day for those 3 days, and then at the end of the 3 days you can open it. Don't open it until your 3 days are up. If it sticks in any spot, I would do that to tamp it down and to get it to move around. And my pad is not in the bottom anymore. It's intermingled with the powder at this point. You probably can't see it. It's right in the center. But that is something you want to have happen, because you want it to be in the middle of all of the powder. So that's how you do it. I hope you enjoyed this. Please tell your friends about me on social media. I did learn this from a woman on YouTube, but it's been so many years ago, I don't remember who it was. I apologize for that. And I hope that you will give this a try and find some cute and creative ways to store it. If you have a little box or a little circular box with a powder puff on top, that will be so cute for your friends. But in the meantime, if you are making it for yourself, it's just as easy to use a jar, making sure you leave at least a third of your container open for the shaking, because you need to mix that around. Once the shaking is done, you don't have to have that extra room, but well, you do need some room, because you're going to want to be able to, if it's an open container, you're going to want to have room for your powder puff on top of that, and then a lid on top of that. So that's how you do it. I hope you'll continue to watch my series on inexpensive Christmas gifts and time-saving Christmas gifts, and let me know if there's any ideas you'd like me to cover. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.